What's going on with you guys? Kind of just want to start putting out some content, basing it off of all stock market stuff. I think a lot of times that people are too scared to jump into it. I think a lot of times it's just the fear of the unknown for anything in life that people get accustomed to being, I guess, afraid of. Um, Especially when you start talking about money. So it's understandable. Uh, I've been in predicaments that kind of gave me the mindset to not have a choice but to figure out a way in life that made me jump into stocks. But it's been well worth it. Obviously, it helped me buy my place. Nice stuff. Not that any of that stuff matters, but coming from where I come from and the things that I've been through is definitely been a blessing. Um, but more so the knowledge, because when you start talking about what made stocks so easy, when you start talking about stocks, as far as me for myself personally, um, it's been mainly the fact that we're creatures of habit, and the main thing that people follow and look at when it comes to stocks is the patterns. So when you talk about being creatures of habit, it's patterns. So naturally, if you understand the thought process of society and where it's headed, and if you understand, it's like chess. You have to pay attention to multiple different variables and understand where stuff is going, not just what you're trying to do, but what everybody else around it and what every other piece is trying to do, and calculate as far ahead as many moves as possible uh, in the shortest distance to maximize what you're trying to do. Um, but when you start paying attention to the patterns of society and then understand where politics is trying to push it, you kind of get an idea of the direction that things are probably more than likely going to go. And that's what makes it the unknown, because it's not any guarantee. And there's also a bunch of other variables that play a role, whether it be the Federal Reserve, whether it be the wars, the economy, elections, all that stuff plays a role because they're all trying to push their own agenda at the end of the day. Um, Whether it be other countries or the president, any politics in general. Um, so when I do my stocks personally, I'm not in it based off of any political views or anything like that. I strictly trade based off of where I see money is going. And explaining that, I don't even I don't pay attention to what stock I'm clicking on until I go research it. And saying that, all I do is the first thing I do is I look for a pattern. Whether, if you're doing options, it doesn't matter if that pattern is going down or up because you can bet based off of either one. So that's not even an issue. But I look for a pattern. If I see the pattern is positive, cool. I'll look up I'll research it and see why it's been positive. Uh, to see if other people and experts are seeing the same stuff that I'm seeing, so that way I'm already knowing that I'm on at least in the right direction. At that point, I look at the next quarterly earnings date to figure out when, because usually on the next earning days is when things will either jump or go down based off of how that company performed. So if you want to do options, it gives you also a deadline on when you should or shouldn't pull out. Um, so saying that, that would be the second thing that I would do. I would look at the date for the next quarterly earnings, um, and I would also look at to see who's been put money into it, which hedge funds, how much, who in the company's been adding money to it, and how much. Uh, People also on Robinhood, what they've been putting money into and whether they've been taken out. So that way you can get an idea on, like I said, if other people are seeing the same stuff that you're seeing. So, and like I said, because of that, because creatures of habit in these patterns, if the direction and the pattern that you're seeing is already scaling up, matter of fact, I wasn't planning on doing too much, but let me go ahead and do this real quick. I really didn't want to put too much content as far as like what I was putting out there, but I'll put some stuff real quick just to make a point. But when you start seeing, can I even get that on there? Yeah. Once you start seeing that, you can kind of already tell that it'll continue that same pattern going up. So then it's like I said, it's patterns. It's patterns, and that one was what? That was from a whole year. That's scaled out to a whole year. Let me see if I can get you to see it at the bottom. I'll get better everything. This was just so random that I started to. It's gonna piss me off. This computer sucks. But anyways, I scaled out to a whole year. So, and that too, you want to scale back out because you'll see patterns within weeks, hours, days, months, years, and obviously the longer back. And that's the thing too. If I see it, the pattern goes back like especially years. More than likely is going to continue. So my options on what I'll do, I wouldn't mind putting my options long term on there and just letting it sit. Uh, that or just putting buying regular stocks into it and just letting it sit. Um, Also, when you talk about day trading, one thing that I see is that not just myself, but one common aspect of it is that around 7 a.m. and around 12 p.m. you'll see the stocks peak or dip. Not every single time. It's not 100%. It's not every single stock every time, but majority of the time, most stocks, some days and some days not, but most of the time, you'll see that pattern. And the reason for it is because the market opens up and people get up around 7 a.m. So you'll start seeing stuff peak. And also around 12 o'clock is when we take our lunches. So around that time frame, it's not exact. Sometimes it could be an hour before, sometimes it could be an hour after, a few minutes before. But around those areas generally is when you'll see those peaks and those dips. And that's when you could sit there and do your day trading because say it starts off because this is how they'll do sometimes. Say it starts off at 5% up uh around all morning long until about 7 o'clock, and then it dips minus 5%. You buy in, and then not only when it reaches back up to even, you've gained 5%, and then when it jumps back up to positive 5%, you done gained a total of 10%. You just doubled what you did. You see what I'm saying? Like it makes it that much easier, and then you can pull it right back out. And I use Robinhood. On Robinhood, you can do about 3 or 4 day trades within a 7 day period. But if you have over 10,000 in your Robinhood account, you can do as many day trades as you want. But yeah, like I said, so I'm just on here because I've done well for myself, like I said, and I tell a lot of my friends and family, like I said, I just seen that it's hard for people to jump in because they think it's so complicated. But I'm not the smartest man in the world. I do think highly of myself, and I do think I'm very intelligent. Uh, but it's not rocket science. I promise you. It's just if you can common sense recognize the pattern and understand that we're creatures of habit and understand politics on the shadiness of it. Like I said, regardless of what side of the aisle it's on, um, you can kind of grasp the concept of it. And like I said, I'll start editing and doing stuff and posting my stuff that I post on my own personal Instagram, for my own friends and family. But like I said, I try to do stuff with people, and honestly, like I said, it's hard to get people to do stuff with you, even as much of what you sit here and prove. But I don't know, man. I've been genuine about always trying to help and preach and share the wealth, man. And somebody mentioned to me to sit here and probably start a YouTube channel. Like I said, I don't want the I do not want any type of of celebrityness at all. As you can see, like that's not my mo. That's not my mo at all. I just want to help, bro. Like I said, they don't teach you this type of stuff in school and growing up, man. Like I said, it was unfortunate. I was in a situation to where like I kind of had to just figure out a better way. And like I said, even when buying houses and stuff like that, man, it's only getting harder out here. I'll give you my age. I'm 34 years old, so I've seen the non-social media age and the social media age, and yeah, man, this world is different. I'll tell you that much. And I got an old soul, so that included makes me feel just a little bit more older than what I am. But like I said, man, I'm just here to try to help. I want to start making more content. You'll probably see me on here a lot, uh, just trying to gain some type of little small following. But I appreciate it. I'll be back.